Jantzen Michael. So I'm originally from Effingham, Illinois, and I'm living here currently because of COVID, the whole COVID situation, because the school is online. So I graduated Effingham High School in 2015. From Effingham my whole life. I lived here with my family, my parents, and I have 5 brothers, and now some sister-in-laws and nieces and nephews and things like that. So that's exciting. And then I went to Greenville University, which is about an hour away from here, and I played basketball for 4 years. I loved that experience, which we'll get more into that. I also did track my freshman year, but due to some injuries with my shoulder, I didn't end up continuing that. And then I majored in biology. I graduated there in May of 2019, and then I started medical school, and I go to Trinity School of Medicine, and I'm in my 2nd year of that program. So I'll be a physician someday.
What are your favorite memories, and talk about your high school basketball memories from Effingham High School?
Yeah, so I was pretty blessed. Honestly, all of my athletic career with basketball, I've been a part of some pretty good programs, and I've had really good coaches. So Coach Schaefer was, of course, my head coach. He's still there, and I loved Coach Schaefer. We still talk, and he still helps me. I coached a 4th grade team last year, and he was super helpful with that. And I'm just very thankful that he was my coach. He really instilled like a really solid basketball IQ into me. And so then when I went to college, I could just tell like some of these girls didn't come from programs where the game was thought through so much. So we were really talented. There was some talented classes above me. I mean, my juniors, we were super talented. That class of 2014, a lot of them went on to play college athletics. The 2 classes above me too, super great. And then my senior year, we lost a lot, graduated a year above me, but I think we did a really good job. And it was just, I'm very thankful for like my coaches. I had some great, from freshman year coaching, playing freshman basketball all the way to the varsity level, great coaching staff, really invested in us.
Favorite game to be a part of as a senior in high school?
Yeah, so I think it was, I've a couple that come to mind. Charleston Holiday Tournament, we were playing Charleston, and we were not supposed to be beating them or even close to them. I'm pretty sure at that point in the season they had beat us once, maybe twice already, because they're in the conference with us. They had some talent, really good team, and we beat them. I think it was the championship game, I'm not sure, and we were not supposed to be hanging with them, and it was tied, or maybe we were down by 1 with a couple seconds. Charleston had the ball at their half court going, to their hoop. All they had to do is hold the ball and not turn it over. Coach Schaefer called a timeout. We set up. Their coach called an alternate timeout, and we had already set up an a man-to-man. And he said, go zone, act like you're going zone, but as soon as they slap the ball, go man. We went man. Brilliant play by our coach. We got a steal. I took off. Some girl gave me an overhead pass, put it in at the buzzer, and beat them. Or the last game of my senior season, I think it was a regional championship game. I'm not sure. I don't really remember those things very well. But I got fouled hard. I had the ball, and at this point in the game, we were probably going to lose, kind of getting to that obvious point. And Coach Schaefer, they didn't make a call, and he went nuts on the officials because they fouled me hard. It should have probably been an intentional, and he really stuck up for me, and I appreciated that. And he ended up getting a double technical and kicked out of the game, and so he missed the first game of the next season. But he told me in the locker room that he wanted to go out showing that he cared, and I remember feeling like very proud that he cared so much that he was willing to take a double technical for me. Class, let's see, Brittany Beals, who went on and played basketball and volleyball at Lincoln Christian University. Maddie Field, who played with me at Greenville for a few years. Shayna Phillips, there's others, of course, that I'm not mentioning. Just highlighting some of the really solid athletes. Shayna Phillips was a year younger than me. She went and ran track at McKendree. And then you have people, of course, who like their names are never in the newspaper, right? They're not, but they're coming in and working hard every day. Amber Vonderhyde, Amelia Busher, just some of those girls that I think don't get noticed because they're not scoring, they're not getting playing time, but they're the ones who come to practice every day and do whatever coach asks. I think that are really critical. Allie Armstrong I think she was a freshman when I was a senior. She came in and played valuable time. There's just so many, right? Like, it's great group.
Besides Greenville University, what other schools were talking to you?
Yeah, so Lakeland, I had a full offer there, in Parkland, but I didn't want to go to a JUCO just because I wanted a 4-year college experience at one place. So those were out. Great respect for those coaches. Really great recruiting, and I had good experience. They were very kind, and they completely understood. And I was thankful, to even be talking to them. And then Cedarville, which is in Ohio, Olivet, which is in Kankakee, Bourbonnais area, Greenville, of course, where I went. Webster in St. Louis was heavily interested. And I actually thought I was going to go to Webster, and so I went on my Greenville visit. I'm trying to think. Those were the main ones that I also reciprocated interest. There was some others.
So with your time at Greenville, what are some of the things that you enjoyed the most?
Yeah, so I came into a really talented program, into a program that had been built up by some people before me and the coaching staff. And I honestly didn't know what I was getting into college basketball really. But I think that those upperclassmen, when I was an underclassman, really developed the foundation for our program. And so as I became an upperclassman, it was fun, it was exciting. Some of my favorite times, we were just good. My freshman year conference championship, went to the national tournament. My sophomore year, we won the regular season conference, so we hosted. We didn't end up winning the tournament, but we went to the Christian National Tournament and won that. Junior year, won conference, regular season, and then went to the Christian Nationals and got fourth, maybe third, don't really remember. And then my senior year, we won conference, regular season, and the conference tournament, so we went to the NCAA National Tournament. We just won a lot, which I was thankful for, because I'm pretty competitive. And also my coaches, I was extremely close with them. I think they built us up a lot as players, of course, on the basketball court, but also they were really invested in who we were as winners. Yeah. So two games come to mind. The first one was my freshman year, I think. Yeah, I think it was my freshman year. And one of my great friends, her name is Taylor, we were playing at Webster, which was one of our conference rivals. Webster's a really good program. Very fast-paced team. They're going to trap you, press you the whole game. Tough to play against them because you just have turnovers and you get frustrated. And it was, we were tied. And in college, there's this rule that if you get within the last minute of the game, if you get the rebound and you call a timeout before you advance the ball moves from under the hoop to half court. So that's huge, right? Because then you can run a half court play to score instead of having to move the ball all the way up. So coach called a timeout. We get the ball at half court. We ran this play. Taylor was killing it this game. We ran this play. She came off, so the ball's at the half court, right? So I was a freshman. I didn't play hardly at all. So I'm not even thinking about going to the game right now, which there's no pressure, right? So it's whatever. So right in front of our bench now, because it's the second half, they run a play, get Taylor open, corner three, takes it, money, buzzer. We storm the court right in front. She's right in front of us because she's the three-point corner right in front of our bench. We just go nuts. We just beat Webster at Webster. It was awesome. And our coach just talked about how Taylor made that shot in that moment, but really she had made that shot thousands of times through the summer and preseason and in practice to prepare for that moment. So of course, coaches had a good lesson in there. And then my senior year, I had a buzzer beater game winner as well. So this is the only, we were 15-1 my senior year in conference. And so we play each team twice. And we had lost to Spalding at Spalding. And now we were playing Spalding at home. And we got the ball in front of their bench. It was tied. with like, I don't know, 8 seconds left. We run a play, get our point guard open. I cut across half court, get the ball in the middle of the court, and I take a couple dribbles, time like 2 seconds on the clock at this point. There's a teammate open under the basket, but I know there's not time to get it, so I pull up, bank in the shot, buzzer goes off and we won. So I don't know, that was like a pretty incredible feeling.
If you would not have played college basketball, what would you have done instead?
So I probably would have honestly worked for a year and saved up money and traveled the world and made vlogs and like had a food Instagram. That's probably what I would have done in all honesty.
So what has basketball done to change your life?
That's a loaded question. I could really talk about this for a long time, but I'll try and some of the highlights. So I think the first, it taught me discipline. You know, you're expected to be places on time, ready to go, ready to work hard. So I think it's definitely taught me that. It's taught me the importance of teamwork because it's very much a team sport. It's very much working with coaches, working with players. You have to trust your teammates, and you have to trust that everyone's going to do their part when they're supposed to do their part. And you can't be thinking about your teammates. You have to think about you also doing your job and your role. Dedication. I mean, you got to like, when you have to go back on December 26th for college basketball and your whole family and all your friends still get to hang out and you have 3 days, you really ask yourself, why am I doing this? So I think it causes sort of internal reflection, that ability to kind of reflect on why you're doing certain things translates into every aspect of your life. You know, why am I waking up at 4:30 to go to team lifting when I have class all day and then conditioning in the afternoon? And I think it really develops that ability to ask yourself why, which is super important to move forward, you know, in everything. Like, I'm in medical school and it's hard. And so the ability to ask myself, why am I doing this, and not expecting instant gratification. We live in a world where it's instant, like you get what you want when you want it. But in athletics, in basketball, you have a delayed gratification, right? You work all summer, you shoot all summer in a hot gym, you run, you get in shape for the championship game that might be in March. And so developing the ability to work hard for a long period of time over a goal that requires other people to obtain. So I think those are some of the biggest things that sports and basketball have taught me.
What advice would you give to young basketball players wanting to play college basketball?
Yeah, so I think, you know, like 13, 14, 15-year-olds are growing up in a different world than I did, you know, 10 years ago when I was 14. So I think first, respect your coaches, right? There's talent everywhere. There's talent. So many kids are good at basketball or baseball, softball, whatever sport you're playing. But not everyone respects their coaches. And so if you're a college coach or you're a recruiter and you're going to watch 500 kids, and you know, there might be a couple that really stand out, but most of them are pretty even. They're looking for the little things. Who cleans up the bench at the end of the game? Who says yes sir, yes ma'am to their coaches? Who respects the ref? Who doesn't show attitude? Those things, I mean, your Twitter, is your Twitter appropriate? Is your Instagram appropriate? Are your social medias okay? Are you making TikToks that are not appropriate? Because why would a coach bring those in to the program knowing they're going to be issues? They just recruit somebody else who has their stuff together. So I would say respect your coaches and respect yourself. Respect yourself enough to know that you should and shouldn't do certain things. Take care of your body, get enough sleep, don't, you know, like eat healthy. Those types of habits are developed young, and when you go to college and then you have added pressure of, you know, more intense schooling and just living on your own, if you don't have to then also cultivate those habits, that can go a long way.
Who are your biggest role models in your life that have helped you out in so many ways?
Yeah, not to be cliche, but definitely my parents. I mean, my parents, I have 5 brothers, so my parents sacrificed a lot for us to have what we have. I mean, there's many times my dad could have got a new truck or like, you know, anything, like, and they just sacrificed a lot for themselves so that we could have opportunities, so I could play AAU, so I could go to the college I wanted. They helped me with tuition. Same with my brothers. And, you know, we had like this nice house and we sold it and downsized so that we could afford adoption. And so they really put like others before them. And so that doesn't really have to do with sports, but just in life, I think and my parents, like, I'm really, like, tomorrow is their 31st wedding anniversary. And they still love each other. And so I think that's a great example. So definitely my parents, I just like can't speak highly enough of them. They're so wonderful. And then also my college basketball assistant coach, Coach Sky, she's now a head coach at a school in Georgia and killing it there. And still to this day, I mean, we text, I call her. She just really shaped my life. And it was not until college that I met her, but I think she was a strong influence in my life during a really formative time. I am currently in medical school, so I will someday be an MD. I'm in my second year of that 4-year degree, so I finished college and decided to go to more school, and then I'll have residency. And so I think I'm gonna be an OBGYN, or just do family medicine. I'm not sure. Everyone asks me that all the time, but I think it's, I don't know. I love cardiology. Every time I learn something new, I'm like, oh, that's what I want to do. I think it's awesome. But I think OBGYN, but of course, you know, that could change once I find new stuff. I do definitely, when I think about my life and I look back, I have to think, you know, it started even when I was like in 5th grade or 4th grade, whatever. Like my dad coached me, and then my junior high coaches. I mean, my 8th grade coach still came to college basketball games. Like, she would always come to one a year. Like that sort of investment, I think, is not normal, but I'm very thankful for that. And just my high school coaches, I've always had coaches who didn't just think about basketball, they thought about your life. And I think that's why I love basketball so much, because I saw how much they cared, and I was just really thankful for that. And my college coaches, of course, amazing. So thankful for each and every one of them, and just how much they cared about us. And my parents, my grandparents, my family, my brothers. My brothers, I would play them one-on-one in the driveway, and I would have to tell them, you know, don't block my shot. And they would say, why? Like, learn to shoot around it, or, you know. And so I think those types of moments I'm really thankful for, and just the people in my life who have helped cultivate who I am and have invested in me, you know, for years and years.
Jantzen Michael, Effingham High School grad, Greenville basketball star. Thank you for sharing your story, Jantzen.
Yeah, thank you.